Hello, my name is James Steamer, author of this new book, Peace, Strength, and Common Sense. This may be the most valuable book you ever read, published by iUniverse. And today we're going to talk about this new book, which I've just had hot off the press in February of 2018. This is a book about making life the absolute best it possibly can be. My life has been challenging, like everybody's has. I went through many years of hard times in my 20s and 30s. Hey, I have a college education, and I started out flipping burgers for $3.25 an hour in a Dairy Queen back in the 1980s. But you know what? I always knew to set a goal to make life better over time. That's the key, is not falling in the trap of feeling like, poor me, I can't get ahead, I can't do this, things are too difficult, life is too hard. If you have a set of basic values and you set goals, you have a sense of moral correctness in life, you can pretty much do anything you want. There is no limit. You want to go to school and get 2 PhDs, you can do it. You want to become a millionaire by the age of 40 on $5 and $10 an hour jobs, you can do it. You want to find the right partner in life, well, that can be a little more complicated, but yes, that's also very possible. I'm very fortunate now, as I've gone into my 50s, have a family, I have a wonderful wife, a good son, and a great life. A life that truly is the envy of many people. And believe me, a day doesn't pass when I don't feel extremely grateful for the life that I have. I can now travel around the world freely. By age 40, my family had a nice home, paid for in cash, completely debt-free. We have decent cars, the basics of life that most Americans enjoy. But most people, even though they're earning plenty of money, often 2 or 3 or 4 times as much as I ever made, are still buried in debt well into their 40s, 50s, still have mortgages even in their 60s in many cases, or almost nothing saved. But this is not just a lecture about money. The most important things in life, first of all, is your health, your physical health. If you don't have good health, the money means nothing. You have to have good health, physical health, emotional health, psychological health. By no means do I say I have it all, but at this point in my life, I do feel pretty good. I'm very fortunate to still have a nice marriage, friendships. This is the second part. Health is number 1. Number 2 is your relationships and love for other people, friendships. Number 3 are your passions in life. Hopefully, if you're very fortunate, what you do every day going to work is your passion, as well as maybe some other things. But unfortunately, for well over half the population, most people, if asked, they would quit their job tomorrow if they won the lottery, which tells me they're not really very happy 40 hours a week, working 9 to 5 or whatever hours they work. And what's really important in life is that you have passions outside of work, hobbies, interests. Doesn't matter, you might collect something. I happen to have an interest in amateur astronomy and telescope making and natural science, and I love to collect butterflies, and I do photography and these types of things. But it could be anything that you have a passion for beyond just going to work every day. So, what makes really a good life? I mean, these are the things: health, friendships and relationships and love in your life, passions, and yes, money. But the money is useless without those other 3 things first. But now we're going to assume that you have found a way to find the good things in your life, and we're going to also look at money. The biggest mistake people make with money in their life is that they just don't save it. They spend everything. They live paycheck to paycheck. And a lot of people believe that's the only way they can live. They don't understand that there are, you know, let's say you're earning $70,000 a year and you used to earn 50. Well, when you earn 70, you can still continue to live as if you're earning 50 or 60 and put that other $10,000 away every year. When I earned only $3.25 an hour and I earned less than $5,000 a year, and I'm not joking, that was how little income I lived in much of the 1980s, $5,000 to $10,000 a year. I was still saving 10, 15, 20% of my income. And my wife was earning similar amounts. And we always paid ourselves first, every single paycheck. You make $100, you pay yourself 10. You make $1,000, you pay yourself 100. But that's only half of it. Yes, it's great to know how to save, but if you just put it in the savings bank down the street in your checking account, making 0.003% interest, while the inflation rate is a full 2 or 3%, you're losing money by leaving your money in a bank or under your mattress. The answer is to be always investing in something that appreciates. And most things that appreciate in value appreciate over time. They don't just get you rich overnight. By no means would I ever advocate any get-rich-quick schemes. Real estate, houses, all this kind of stuff does appreciate over time in most parts of the country, not always. The stock market is what I've used over many years, and generally a widely diversified portfolio in the stock market will increase roughly 8, 9, 10, sometimes as much as 20% in a year. But on the average over 20, 30, 40 years, probably 8, 9% a year. But that's roughly 3 times what inflation is. So you have to beat inflation with your money. And then what do we do when we finally get money? Well, number one, paying off our debt. If we have college loans, we have a mortgage, we have car payments, whatever it might be, get rid of it as soon as possible. Credit card debt, it's 16, 18%, get rid of it as fast as you can. Then start taking that same amount of money that you were putting toward your debts and put it toward yourself. And that means putting it into stock market related investments, mutual funds, which invest in many different stocks with diversified portfolios. You can go to Vanguard, Fidelity, American Century, American Funds, and there are hundreds and hundreds of mutual funds that you can check out at Morningstar.com. Just check out their performances, their long-term history, this type of thing. And always invest only in things that are properly registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission or through a registered real estate agency purchasing a property, this sort of thing. There are a lot of fraudulent scammers out there. Beware. And then the other thing is, we talk about having good health and how wonderful it is. Yes, it certainly is. However, we have to know how to maintain our health. The American healthcare system is costing us over $1 trillion a year. Well, that's not necessary. The number one cost in our healthcare system is people not taking care of their own health, engaging in their own preventive measures. And really, most of this is common sense. Getting a good sleep, eating a good balanced diet, exercising fairly vigorously, at least close to every day, every other day, several times a week. You have to be disciplined in life if you want good things to come later. Delayed gratification are my favorite 2 words. And much of this book will go into the details of exactly how you can have an absolutely wonderful life. And like I say, it's not going to happen at age 21, the day you leave college or high school or whatever. It does take time. But that if you take care of yourself, you can easily live 80 to 90, even maybe 100 years. There's a man down in Texas now, the longest living World War II veteran. It was still reasonably healthy at age 112 as of May of 2018, and he takes no medications. So think about this. And again, I'm going to dwell on health a little bit. A lot of this book, a good chunk of it, is about the healthcare system and how basically it's the biggest scam on the American population, with people paying hundreds of dollars a month for insurance, their employers matching it with hundreds of dollars a month, to the tune of $1 trillion a year. Just imagine if that money went into your paycheck instead of for insurance. And if you're very healthy, there's a high chance you're never going to need that insurance. And I'm not telling everybody to dump their insurance, but I am saying that the system needs to change, because as long as we have a third-party payment system of insurers and the government, the healthcare industry is going to take full advantage of that and keep charging $1,500, $2,000 for an MRI that only cost them $100. This type of thing is going to continue as long as we have a third-party payment system. Something has to change in healthcare. It is the biggest single financial burden on the American people. And I would say the second is probably college tuition, which also has just gone out of sight. And again, the more it's supplemented by the federal government, whatever scholarships and things, the higher the tuition goes. So, yeah, there are no easy solutions to all of this. But also in this book, I discuss philosophy, science, religion, politics, really tough stuff. Hard things to deal with. Everybody who buys this book is going to like some of it, and is not going to like some of it, and I accept that. And I'm happy to take the criticism. So I hope whoever's watching this video will consider the purchase of this book. And again, peace, strength, and common sense. This may be the most valuable book you will ever read. And I do indeed hope this book changes people's lives for the better. Thank you.